They thought she didn't belong, watched her every move, filed complaints, and called the cops. But what they didn't know, the woman they'd been targeting actually ran the entire sheriff's department. Yeah, that happened. Imagine spending your whole life working for one thing, a home. You finally get the keys, unlock the door, and you think, this is it. This is peace. But that welcome mat? Turns out it's just for show. That's what Sheridan Cole walked into, 44 years old, 2 decades as a cop, the elected sheriff, respected by her crew, feared by the people who should be. But none of that meant squat when she pulled up to Maple Glen Drive in Brookhaven Estates, Florida. Sun's beating down that Saturday, air dancing off the blacktop. Sheridan steps out in jeans and a t-shirt, sleeves rolled, hair tied back. She's looking at this picture-perfect brick house, little yard, oak tree in the corner, quiet, calm, the kind of place you dream about when you're working nights and holidays that turn into nights. But the second she starts moving boxes, she can feel it. Blinds twitch, a guy watering his grass just stops, hose dangling, staring holes right through her. Neighbor on the porch, phone in hand, pretending not to look, but not bothering to look away either. Sheridan just keeps her head down. She's been here before, knows that stare, the one that weighs and judges before you even get a word out. She tells herself it's fine, just nerves, just people curious about the new face. She works alone, does most of the heavy lifting herself, always has, always will. When she finally sits on the truck tailgate, sweat running down her face, she notices most folks have retreated behind their curtains. But they're still there. The first one to speak is an old man walking his dog. "You moving in?" he asks, flat as a pancake. She smiles, polite. "Yes, sir, name's Sheridan Cole. Just got the keys." He just nods, mutters, "Welcome," and keeps moving, like maybe if he doesn't stop, nothing changes. Later, a white SUV rolls up, and out steps Clifford Branson, silver hair, golf shirt so tucked it might as well be shrink-wrapped. He sticks out his hand, says, "I'm Clifford, HOA president. Here to make sure you got everything you need." Sheridan thanks him, says she's settling in, but Clifford's eyes keep darting. "Yard, bins, driveway. We like to keep things in order," he says. "Bins out no earlier than 6, lawns cut, that kind of thing." Sheridan gets the message. It isn't a welcome, it's a warning. That night, as she's unpacking, Sheridan thinks maybe it'll smooth out, once people get used to her. Once they see she pays her dues, mows her grass, isn't here to cause trouble. But she's seen that look before, the quiet way folks let you know you don't fit. She pulls the curtain back and sees the same woman still out on her porch. Some folks, she whispers, don't need a reason. They'll find one anyway. Next morning, before dawn, she's up. Old habits die hard. She's sipping coffee on the porch, thinking maybe she overreacted. Then she sees that same guy with the dog, moving even slower. Car crawls by, driver rubbernecking. Sheridan raises her mug, gets nothing but a hasty speed up in return. Inside, she mutters, "Yep, still a show." By 7, she's in uniform, badge, belt, the whole deal. She catches herself wondering what they'll think, seeing her roll out for work like that. Sure enough, 2 women at the mailbox go dead silent as she locks her car. She drives off, tries to let it slide, but it's already gnawing at her. That afternoon, she's back home. The woman next door is trimming hedges. Sheridan waves, gets a grunt, if you can call it that, in return. That night, the neighbors' voices drift in through the window. She's always gone before sunrise. What does she even do? Sheridan shuts the window, jaw tight. She's heard worse on the job, but hearing it outside her own house stings different. She doesn't say a word. 2 days later, while carrying groceries, a teen blurts, "You renting or buying?" She answers, "Buying." And he sprints off, mission accomplished. Nobody brings pie. Nobody drops off a welcome card. Not even the phony gestures. All she gets is whispers, side-eye, and a sense that she's being watched. One night, a squad car rolls past. Her squad, but not on the right route. She frowns, knows the pattern. Gossip turns to suspicion, suspicion to complaints. Then it gets worse. Why should home feel like work? The little signs pile up. Cars slow down near her house. Strangers linger at the corner, pointing. Her recycling bins moved a hair, like someone peeked. She laughs, bitter, not funny. She's seen worse in alleys and motels, but this is personal. And she knows who's about to get involved. Clifford Branson, HOA president, king of the clipboard. When the first email hits his inbox, strange hours, something's off, he files it. 2 more follow. Car parked wrong. Too many packages. Nothing serious, but enough to build a paper trail. At the monthly board meeting, he brings it up, just casual. We've had some notes. Patricia Nolan, the treasurer, jumps in. I've noticed. Always leaving before sunrise, coming back late. Ronald Pierce shrugs. Probably just works long hours. Patricia presses. People are concerned. No family, no kids, no spouse. Clifford's sold. They'll keep an eye. After the meeting, Clifford drives past Sheridan's house, studies it. Nothing out of place, but the complaints sit heavy in his pocket. By next week, more notes. Saw her leave at 5 a.m. People are talking. Clifford tells himself it's just due diligence, but he knows. This isn't about bins or boxes. It's about her. Sheridan catches Clifford and Patricia on the sidewalk, clipboard in hand. She leans on her car, arms crossed, lets them notice her staring. That night she vents to her deputy, Rafael Ortiz. They're circling me like I'm a suspect. Rafael jokes about showing up in uniform. She laughs, but she's not joking. Just wanted a house, Raf. Just coffee, not a court date. She hopes Clifford stays in his lane, but knows he won't. By the second week, Sheridan's getting used to it. Or telling herself she is. Every time she leaves before dawn, she sees the glow of someone's window. Comes home late, garage lights flip on. When she finds an envelope taped to her door, she already knows what's inside. Violation notice, trash bin in public view. Her bin had been out for less than an hour. She tosses it on the counter, muttering, "Guess the welcome basket's not coming." She calls her sister Gwen in Jacksonville. "They gave you a violation for trash?" Gwen laughs, but it's not kind. "Sherry, that's not about trash." Sheridan sighs. "No knock, no chat, just paperwork taped to my house like I'm guilty." Gwen says, "Don't let them push you. You've fought worse." Sheridan knows it's true, but she can't arrest her neighbors for side-eye. Next morning, Clifford's pacing by her yard. She calls out, "Mr. Branson." He smiles, all innocence. "Just keeping the neighborhood consistent." Sheridan steps closer. "You mean to tell me my house is the only one with a bin out?" Clifford dodges, says hers was most visible. Sheridan's voice sharpens. "I know the difference between a rule and a target." "Which is this?" Clifford stammers, says, "Just the rules." Sheridan watches him walk away, every muscle tense. That weekend, another envelope. Car tires touch the grass. By Monday, rumors are everywhere. Patricia says, she comes and goes at all hours. Another woman. Maybe she's renting. That's why she doesn't care. Sheridan slams her trunk, making them jump, then carries her bags inside without a word. That night, Rafael calls. Hearing things, calls coming in about you. Some vague, some not. They're painting you like you're hiding something. Sheridan almost laughs. "I've got a badge, a mortgage, and a bad back. What else do they want?" Rafael says, "Once people decide you don't belong, they'll bend facts until they fit." By now, she's getting notices for everything. Lights left on too late. Mailbox not community standard, even though it's brand new. Sheridan stands outside, staring at her spotless mailbox, coffee going cold. She realizes there's not even a pretense of fairness anymore. That evening, she parks her cruiser in the driveway, dash lights flashing. Hours later, Clifford gets a call. She brought a squad car home. Makes people nervous. He says it's her work car, but his tone's shaky. The complaints keep piling up. Friday evening, Sheridan catches Clifford again, phone in hand. "You got a problem with me?" she asks. He says no. "Just doing my duty." Sheridan shoots back. "Funny, your duty starts and ends at my house." Clifford says, "We hold everyone to the same standard." Sheridan steps in, voice low and even. "I've been enforcing laws for 20 years. I know the difference between a rule and a target. Which one is this?" He doesn't answer, just turns and walks away. That night, at the board meeting, the file on Sheridan is spread out, pattern of violations, odd hours, confrontational. Ronald finally pushes back. "She hasn't done anything. You're stretching." Patricia hisses. She stormed across the lawn. "That police car, intimidating." Marjorie Hill says. "Or maybe she just works law enforcement, because she does." Clifford's grip tightens. Patricia leans in. "If you won't act, someone else will." That night, Clifford calls non-emergency dispatch. Suspicious activity at this address. As he gives the details, his stomach turns, but he doesn't stop. Inside, Sheridan is filling out paperwork when the street fills with squad cars, red and blue lights, radios, deputies stepping out, hands on their holsters. She mutters, "You've got to be kidding me," and steps onto her porch. The deputies freeze. Deputy McKinney squints, recognition dawning. "Sheriff." Sheridan folds her arms. "Evening, deputy. Mind telling me why half the precinct's parked outside my house?" The younger officer stammers, "Suspicious activity." Sheridan raises an eyebrow. "At my house." McKinney clears her throat, embarrassed. "Sheriff Cole lives here." Her words hang in the humid night. Neighbors gather at their windows, Patricia front and center, phone in hand. Sheridan steps down to her deputies. "If you get a call about suspicious activity here again, check your system and remember whose house this is." She locks eyes with Clifford across the street. These calls aren't about crime. They're about neighbors who can't mind their business. The deputies clear out. Engines rumble. Lights fade. But the street is changed. Inside, her phone buzzes. "Raphael again. You okay?" She says, "I'm fine, but my neighbors, they just made a mistake they won't forget." Tomorrow, she's filing a report. The next morning, the whole neighborhood's gawking, not just glancing. Email hits her inbox. HOA special meeting, urgent. That night, the clubhouse is packed. Clifford up front, clipboard ready. Sheridan steps in, full uniform, boots echoing. Clifford says, "We've had troubling developments." Multiple residents express concerns. Law enforcement was dispatched. Patricia adds, "We can't have our neighborhood turned into a spectacle. Safety comes first." From the back, a voice. "What spectacle?" "Those were cops, at the sheriff's house." Sheridan stands. "That's right. Sheriff Sheridan Cole. The woman you all decided was suspicious enough to call the police on." Gasps. "Do you know what that says about this neighborhood?" Clifford tries to cut in. "Miss Cole, please." She snaps, "Sheriff Cole." She lays it out, her job, her hours, her record. "Instead of knocking on my door, you whispered behind blinds and made me a target in my own home." Ronald Pierce finally speaks up. "Maybe the problem isn't her. Maybe it's us." The room splits. Some agree, some won't look her in the eye. Sheridan finishes, "I moved here for peace. What happened last night showed how quick assumptions can escalate. You don't have to like me, but you will respect me. And I won't be treated like a criminal where I lay my head." Clifford mutters they'll reconsider. Sheridan leans in, "Do that. Next time it's not just embarrassing, it's a lawsuit." And with that, she walks out, the doors thudding behind her. After, some neighbors apologize, some dig in. Brookhaven Estates is split. Team Sheridan, Team Clifford. Evenings, Sheridan sits on her porch, kids riding bikes, tension buzzing under the quiet. Weeks pass. Patricia keeps stirring the pot. Clifford stays out of sight, but Sheridan has had enough. She calls Raphael. "I'm done waiting. I'm holding a meeting. Not an HOA ambush, a real one." Flyers go out. Community forum, hosted by Sheriff Sheridan Cole. Saturday, 7 p.m. Curiosity packs the clubhouse. Sheridan wears plain clothes. No badge, just jeans and a shirt. She tells them the truth. It wasn't about trash cans, mailboxes, or porch lights. It was about me, what you whispered, what you believed, without ever once knocking on my door. Imagine if I wasn't who I am. If someone else had answered that call. Patricia scoffs. "You're making yourself the victim." Sheridan faces her. "Safe from what, Patricia? A woman going to work? A cop with 22 years of service." Some neighbors start to get it. Harold Gardner stands up. "We've been acting out of fear, not facts." "I'm ashamed." Others murmur agreement. Sheridan ends with, "I'll keep serving this county. But here, I just want to live. The choice is yours." Afterward, apologies, handshakes, some neighbors slip out. Clifford lingers. "You've made your point, but don't think this ends overnight." Sheridan meets his eyes. "I don't need it to end overnight. I just need it to end." The neighborhood shifts. Some wave, others keep their distance. Sheridan walks her block. Kids call out, "You're the sheriff, right?" She smiles. "That's me." The next HOA meeting, she closes the chapter. "What I got here wasn't peace. It was a lesson. Trust is fragile. It takes one rumor to break it. But it can be rebuilt if we're willing to admit when we're wrong. You don't have to like me, but you will respect me and anyone else who calls this place home." That night, Sheridan sits on her porch, cicadas buzzing, and thinks being sheriff didn't shield her from suspicion. If anything, it showed her how much work still needs doing. She raises her glass to the quiet street, whispering, "Home is worth fighting for." Brookhaven Estates will never be the same, and maybe, just maybe, that's not a bad thing. If this story hits home, if it made you question what really keeps a neighborhood safe, drop a comment, share your take. Does respect matter more than rules? Where's the line between safety and suspicion? Let's hear it.